Let's just kind of talk about this working group. How did it get started and what exactly is the mission?
The School Bus Safety Working Group was formed by Ohio Governor Mike DeWine back in August after a fatal crash in Clark County, where a student on a school bus was injured and killed.
And so far, what are some of the different things that are being looked at to make students commute safer?
So the working group is looking at all aspects of school bus safety. This is kind of the first time any state has really taken a deep dive into school bus safety following a crash. So they're looking at school bus inspections. How are school buses inspected? What's the process? What do they look like? School bus technology, looking at school bus driver training. Do drivers need more training? Do they need different training? Looking at seatbelts on school buses, possibility of seatbelts being required on school buses in Ohio, looking at crash risk factors, what puts, what types of injuries happen on school buses when they happen, and just kind of an overall history, big picture of school bus crashes in Ohio.
Talk about Ohio's stats with regard to incidents involving school buses. So are we kind of in that average, below average, or are we not doing so well with regard to incidents involving school buses?
In Ohio, school buses are involved in less than 1% of all traffic crashes in the state. There's been a little over 6,000 crashes involving school buses just in the past 5 years. Among those were 7 crashes that killed 7 people that were in other vehicles and not on school buses. And Ohio hasn't had a fatality on a school bus since before this year, since 2010. So just looking at the numbers, looking statistically, school buses are the safest way for students to get to and from school and after school events in Ohio by far. Safer than riding in their parents' vehicle.
And drivers are reminded each and every year of the things they should be doing if they see a school bus stopped or if they're even behind a school bus. So in terms of that, what are some things drivers may not know that they're doing wrong?
Well, that's kind of one of the things this working group is looking at is, what our public information campaigns to drivers look like regarding school buses. It's in, the driver's manual, the laws are spelled out there. But is there something we can maybe be doing better with regards to how other drivers are driving around school buses? We know that drivers will ignore the stop arms and ignore the stop signs and those red flashing lights and go past school buses all the time. But we're really kind of taking a look at, is there something more that we can do? Do we need to increase penalties for those drivers who violate the laws? Do we need to do more communications to drivers, maybe around the start of the school year, about school's back in session? You're going to see more buses on the road. Just a reminder, these are the things drivers need to do, and these are how drivers need to act around those buses.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for talking to me.